G'day punters, welcome to the ANZAC Day weekend preview show. I think that's about right. Anyway, there's plenty going on. There's about 40 meetings across the various states over the next few days. We're going to be focusing on a bit of Caulfield, a bit of Doomben as we enter the Winter Carnival, featuring the man, the undisputed king of live betting, Shane Sherlio. And then we'll take a look at Flemington as well. But Dickens, I'll start with you. How have you found doing 15 meetings this week?
Tough. Found Caulfield pretty boring, pretty hard. I really only like the race that we'll talk about at this point in time. A lot of trials. Some very, very it's kind of sneaky. It's just weird. I think it's in the race 5. Yeah, that we're going to talk about. The way we do our form at the mailbag, we sort of get like what would you call it, like a print off of like what we're looking at for this upcoming meeting. And when the horse is like from like Europe or Kiwi land or something, it comes up in purple. And in race 5, number 13, I'm not good at pronouncing as a rule. Number 13, Ishord. Ushald. How would you say it, Peter?
Oshod.
How?
Oshod.
Oshod. Come up in purple like it's some import. Jason Warren's buying imports, I thought. He's put Bo Mertens on it. Wow. All right. When I watched it, trial like a good horse. Just towed up behind All Stardom, who won like without being touched yesterday at Kilmore. Then I dug back like deeper through the form, and this thing's like SP $4 versus Written Beauty at Moonee Valley. I'm going, well, why is it in purple? Well, if you play the replays, you listen to TB, and for all those blokes who, like non-betters who bag TB and think he's responsible for your shit wagering, listen to his call of Written Beauty winning at Moonee Valley. He called it on the corner, like he went real early, and it did motor home and win. But this horse was not as good as it, but it was there or thereabouts, and it SP'd $4 versus it. It SP'd $1.55 on debut and just canted in at Mornington. It went under a different name of Hot Water, maybe.
So Oshaw is French for hot water.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Good luck to Matty Hill, because he's very good at what he does, but this sounds like a bit of a tongue twister. The trial's enormous. The trial form's good. Its form's good. It's $11. I don't know why it's $11. I think it should be closer to $6. It's showing like some speed in, like it's sat near Written Beauty, and it's sat just behind. It was like a 4-horse race there at Mornington on debut. And then that trial, it was well behind All Stardom, but that's a little hooner, All Stardom. Ooh. So it was never going to be near it. Yeah. So right now you can get $11 top sport. I can't see it starting double figures. I think it gets well backed. And the other horse in this race, which would just be great for TV, and if this horse does win, someone's just look out for wherever Peter is, because he's going to go real quiet as this jockey gets interviewed. That's All Brighton and Madison Lloyd. This thing was enormous last start. It yet to put in a poor performance. Paddy Payne's horses are starting to run really, really well again. I think she's quite a competent rider. This is a tricky horse. A tricky ride. She's going to sort of pick her way through the field, but I think at $6.50, that is still a very fair bet to take. I think you can back both. I suspect with confidence that Winsome starts favourite with just the SP profile versus a lot of its key rivals in this race. And big watch. Immortal loves double nom. There's a lot of that on Saturday and Sunday, which is just absolute fresh hell when you're grinding your way through this stuff. But it was good too. If it runs, it'll be backed, but I think it might go to Flemington. The real interesting sort of setup horses here are Tidius for Lindsay Smith and D. Oliver.
Oh.
My ears prick when I see that, like Ollie's riding for Lindsay. But, Lindsay kind of like, I don't know if he was, I think Darren Weir was even his apprentice. He's that good. And then It's like Simon Wild, Lindsay, Kieran Marr. Like they're big bulligans, these blokes. Are they not? I think like these sort of horses. I the back of my mind there's a stack of them on Saturday. They're all coming out of trials at Terrain, and I suspect most of them are aimed to peak at Warrnambool. Doesn't mean they're not going to win here. I think they're going to be fitter, ready to peak at Warrnambool. But Damien was riding, so maybe they are about to peak. I don't know. Tricky read horses like Tidius who look pretty smart. And Curran's a horse that was SP $3 versus Litchfield County, who's got form through a lot of these horses here, who was good again, ran third to Montesira in Adelaide last week. So Curran's had a jump out in between runs from its second or third to Litchfield County there at Sandown. So that's race 5, punters. We're going to back number 13, previously known as Hot Water. So much easier to say. Why would you change it? And number 6, All of Brighton. Back both.
Jack, before we move on from that race, want to get a word in. What's its racing pattern? Where do you map it?
Hot Water. Just call it Hot Water, please, because I can't say that.
Where do you map it? Is it going to be in behind them?
Midfield, yeah. Barrier 4.
Good. If Matt Hill doesn't say Bouchard strung up behind them in Hot Water,
he's not as good as they say he is.
He's not even the best 5 in Australia.
I think he's pretty good.
He wanted to say that.
He's definitely sipping on his whiskey glass on Friday night, working on some of his lines he can drop, and this is going to be one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, surely it is. I mean, TV wouldn't miss this opportunity.
What do you reckon they do? Do you reckon TV just sits up there with like a bit of scotch and maybe a cigar and just sort of voice memos it? Huh, that's a good one, Dale. Listen to this one.
And I think when you've reached the point in your career where you're sitting back with a scotch and a cigar thinking what you're going to say, you've given up giving a fuck about anything. You can just see it in TV in the way he operates. He's a brilliant operator because he doesn't care.
Speaking of operator, what is underneath your eyes?
Oh yeah, it's my little what do you call these? It's like a draws out the shit under your eyes and moisture back under my eyes. Friend of the show made comment to me in an inbox saying he watched the show last week and I looked terrible. Asked if I was all right. I said and this bloke should know because he bets in Queensland as well. I said, well, you should know. Like, we bet in Queensland. Like, I looked about 27 when I started betting up here full time. I've put on about 30 kilos and aged 40 years. People deal with stress differently. I eat.
Wow.
I've been a big 6 months on the chews. Yeah, so I'm just trying to, improve my routine. My
Did you pinch off the missus? Curly bet.
Hey?
Did you pinch them?
Yeah. I actually got her to order them for me.
Does it say it comes in a discreet, no-name package? Just turns up?
Yeah, no.
I hope you put the right ones on. It could have been like a waxing strip or whatever.
Yeah. Being of Italian descent, I'd probably have fucking 3 inch of hair under my eyelids too if I had them. Anyway, I digress.
What about when we're on RSN and Gareth goes to pistol? You're related to Adam Olszewski, aren't you?
What a man. What a man.
Bloody wonderful. All right, girls, take it away. What are we talking about in Queensland? Have you got any horses that have changed name from one language to another? What language would they pick up in Queensland?
It's got to end in A. Yeah, I'm in Queensland, A. Yeah, we're betting in Queensland, A. Race 5's the Brisbane Truck Show Tail Stakes, eh? Listed race, eh? Yeah, look, the carnival's starting to heat up. A few horses are starting to venture up from the south, which will make for some interesting racing. We've seen the Queensland horses a few Queensland horses go to Sydney and acquit themselves well, during the Sydney Carnival. So obviously most of the Sydney horses that would come north will be the legitimate B graders at best. Obviously we saw the A graders in the championship. So I'm always a little bit wary, but, consistently, and we got a great insight when Uncle Chris come on the show and talking about sticking to patterns. Uncle Chris will have some horses that'll come north and he'll send the right ones because they invariably do. So, I will be respecting the Southern form. But, race 5 is an interesting one. Let's bring up my stat here. We should have had this preloaded. Sort of going through the market here. The interesting runner is the Candyman. It's the local favourite. Pretty parochial, actually, Queenslanders with their horses, aren't they?
Track and trip horse too, isn't it, Curls? 3
Big
starts
time.
a trip, 2 wins, 1/3.
Big time. There was a few comments on social media. Quite funny. Bailey Notiff, a jockey that we know and love, that we've won on plenty of times over the journey. He was quoted on punters saying, Candyman basically he's beaten a lot better horses than these in his day. He'll just win. And then I read the comments from punters underneath, this kid would get wing speed in the Matoa Cup and stuff like he wouldn't know a good horse if he sat on one, all this sort of shit. So
Enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. Good banter. I think it's the horse to beat. I think the drawing track conditions, it suits him as well. I think he maps well. Sort of had Almeida, Constant Flight, and Supergiant sort of rolling forward, and the Candyman can just I think it just slots across there. Like Captivator will push forward as well. I can sort of see the Candyman almost PRing here, like 4th, 5th one off. The horse that is of interest, and you guys may recall this horse from its Victorian prep.
The 7.
I was going to say the 1.
Oh, the 7 interests me. Isn't that from Victoria too? Walking Flying?
Yeah, Walking Flying. Subscribers were on it last start when Robbie Frad won on it for us at the mile. Now, I think this horse might be the right word. I think this is his trip, right? It's found the line pretty well. This Walking and Flying, it's found the line pretty well. Its last couple at the mile, so I think staying at the miles ago, it did sort of get out to 2,000 towards the end of its last preparation. But I think it's sort of found its right distance, and sort of from the gate, with the tempo that's going to get, that I sort of anticipate it's going to get, it'll be finding the line again. I think it's the sort of horse that probably tracks the Candyman. So I think the horse that, I think it's nearly a bet at the price is Almeida, the 1.
Well, it's not hard to justify that. Just if you just get up its Punting Form page and go, oh, hang on, this thing SP $31 in a fucking Group 1 over the mile at Flemington on Cup Week.
Yeah. Now I can't remember the exact gallop, but it galloped at the Valley. I remember it did a piece of work at the Valley. This is when Waller had it, I think. And that was before the Cantala. There was a piece of work that it did at Moonee Valley in one of the Breakfast with the Stars or some bullshit they have. Sorry, I shouldn't speak like that. It's great promotion for racing. A little bubble gets to have a free brekkie.
In the bubble.
Anyway, produced a nice piece of work at the Valley. J-Mac took the ride in the Cantala,
which is a big push.
Reasonable push. It raced, got beat 2.6. Right? So it's come off it's had that one run at Waller's, sat on speed in the Ajax, and then it had a spell.
Casey Fogden had it.
Yeah, superstar trainer of Selling Sunset.
There you
go. Our trainer. So that was when come over here, had that one run for Aquis. And then That was still on it, obviously, and then went to Waller, had that Melbourne prep, and then went back. Had a bit of a strange prep, like after the Cantala going to that Kem Lagrange race, the time honoured the Gong, didn't quite work out.
And it was lame. It was lame there. Genuine excuses.
Hard to sort of know what to do with its first up run, right? Led, went out 8.3 lengths quick in the Doncaster. It's got really good ability, this horse, clearly. And this is like the easiest race it's contested forever. But these are genuine fucking open handicappers in Brisbane.
So what price should it be?
I don't want to tell you what price I've got it.
Okay, I know what that means.
Because put it this way, at $13, we need to be having something on it. It's too big a price. Like, if you just price this horse on the Cantala run,
it's $2.
Probably 205.
Yep. Yeah, but there's a genuine excuse, the Gong, so you just ignore that run.
I think so. Yeah.
And then first up, it's in a Group 1. Where the winner and the second horse have come from near last. And it led.
Like, it's just hard to know what to do with that last start. I mean, that's the query, obviously. Anyway, I probably spent too much time talking about it here. Off that Cantala run, it's a bet.
Yeah.
And there's no way knowing you let a horse of that quality go around at that price in Queensland in an open handicap that's got listed status.
Okay.
Race 8, Dittman.
Yeah.
The big
Mick Dittman.
Another listed race. Where we go?
What a legend Mick Dittman was. Just the vision of him with that white piece of poly in his hand and just smashing them in the last furlong. That's why the punters loved him.
Controversial.
Yeah, a lot of horses had that white sort of bridle, that white bridle with the V sort of thing. I'm not sure exactly what type of bridle you call that, but just invokes images of, the white whips, the big hard sticks just flailing in the breeze, just smacking them. Getting the best out of their mounts. Anyway.
Trying.
Okay, here's where we're going to start. Simply Fly, the toppy. Okay. Currently around 390, right? I'm going to mark this horse like $10 because it's going to be last the fence at Doomben. Now, one in a weaker race the other day, ran second. Leader, better Sydney horse, led, strung him along, opened the field right out. Simply Fly was under the stick before the corner. That's its racing pattern, gets back to last. And then a saloon passage all the way up the straight. Let it do its best work. I don't see the saloon passage for this horse in this field at Doomben this week. I think there's a much better depth of horses. A lot more horses in this race are going to take a position and at least be able to keep up. So the C's, I don't think the C's are going to part for Steph. I think she's going to be last the fence. If it's going to be like $3.90 and $2 at the jump, I'll be 100% laying it.
What about Miss Canada, number 12? Me and Pistol yesterday in the city. We saw Mr. Canada. Remember that, Pistol?
Mike Pike.
Marty Pike, premiership player for the Swans. Anyway, distracted. Sorry, Kels. Should have seen that. He would have dropped, what do you reckon, Pete? 20 kilos?
Easy 20.
You know how like most pro footballers, when you see him
go the other way.
5 or 10, yeah. He looked like
Stewie Jew.
Yeah, the opposite of Stewie.
Yeah. Stewie Jew looks like he's on a campaign to play lawn bowls. The other horse that I'm going to say can't win, and he's also $4, is Kisakano. I think it was...
What's happening with it?
Gone. I think it was blessed in run the other day. Like, it's ran second, right? Led, walked. Tycoon Evie, first up 1,200, no jump out, no trial. Completely brained them. this race has a lot more depth. It's $4. I'm thinking win and place lay. Right, so they're my two tips in the race. Lay.
Oh, that's good. Anything of value for the punters? Just throw their little 5 each way on.
I think the map horses are 5 and 6. The question mark around them is whether they've got the punch. Obviously, Lord Olympus, but it's got a tricky little gate. Newnham brings it up, respected. Andermatt, obviously the Blue Army. From gate 12, I don't think they're going to be able to kidnap any position in run. So it's a little bit tricky there as well. There's horses out wide. Like if Miss Canada had a gate, I'd be like pretty interested in coming into it. It was expertly placed to get a first up kill, murdered them, has some nice Sydney form. I think it's right there as well, but it's got a tricky gate. So the horses that I liked, 3, 4, and at 12, I can't really find a spot on the map at this point. We'll wait for scratchings to finalise. Which sort of leads like 5 and 6 getting best map. 34s and 26s, both of those horses. You could have a peanut. But my main plays in the race will be laying the 1 and the 9, I think, heavily against. And I anticipate, just off the data, that both of them, will stay firm in the market.
And for those out there, and there's plenty of you who are getting curly stuff or are thinking of getting curly stuff, it's a sort of simplified pack moving forward through the Winter Carnival, and they're going to get selections every single race, units when we want to bet, which we are accountable to, and also we're going to trial. Everyone's going to trial, but Curly's going to sort of pioneer audio updates. So that's our goal.
And that audio update may include post-race analysis, Jack.
It probably will.
I find it very...
Pistol, have you got the capabilities of disabling his audio updates, sort of post sort of 7 p.m?
No, I don't.
Shit.
But I can change the login details, in which case he won't be able to send anything.
Yeah, I trialed one on Wednesday after we backed Enrique. Like, I'm sure that song, like that Murder on the Dance Floor, it's like a murder on a racetrack. I was singing it in my head. It's not a racetrack. I'd done a voice memo, but I listened back. I was like, I can't send that.
He will get hauled in.
That could get into the wrong hands, and
yeah, got to be careful with them.
Benny Thompson might think that I was like being personal, but
we
anyway,
love the riders, we love all participants.
We do. Benny,
we're just grateful for everyone who's involved in this industry. Everyone makes mistakes, and
yeah, Benny was a bit stiff, and then he missed the start on the one we backed in the last, and it should have won. It was a moral beat as well, and then. Then Benny got a helicopter down to Grafton yesterday to ride one for Steve O'Day. 1 ride, 1 win. So he's going all right, Benny.
What about speaking of going great? No, let's not do that.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to the day. It's there's some like reasonable betting opportunities depending on the final fields and that sort of stuff. And there's also Dolby. So
oh Christ.
Yeah, get ready for the post-race updates from Dolby.
Okay. Peter, at the start of the show, did you promise anything at Flemington?
Yes. We did.
Well, you want to run through? I've got a tea time to get to. So race number 4 at Flemington.
ANZAC Day Stakes.
ANZAC Day Stakes. It's a really nice race day at Flemington. If you've got nothing to do, they do make a good effort to do the right thing on the day and like prioritise what the day should be about. They have a nice amount of ceremony, etc. Remembering the diggers, so it's good. Race 4, I like 3 Kings a little bit. I think the race that's coming out of is okay. I think from barrier 4, I think the races that's coming out of are good. Like that Sorrel, I think's got good ability. I think that race is pretty hot. McAvoy's trained a Saturday winner last Saturday, which was also a little bit of a push. That's like the first one in a long time in Melbourne. Luke Curry rides from Barrett 4. I think the horse got every chance in it. I really wanted to find, number 2, Hanam. But just barrier 10, I still think it's a fair price. If you like it, back it. I just think that 3 Kings from barrier 4 is going to get every single possible. I thought Hunnam was the other sort of bet in the race. Then we'll head to quickly to race number 6, which is the
VRC St Leger.
Oh, this is pretty simple, I think. You just back 2 horses and you bet really heavily here. Number 3, Through Irish Eyes, Mark Eustace, Mark Zara. We want to see this thing firm in betting. We want to see Mark show some intent early. You know, when Mark wants to win, he wins. He'll push off here from rails in run, like we saw him do there on Michigan 2 Wednesdays back at Bendigo. This horse is airborne. It's going better than anything here. It should just win. There's no excuses for it. The horse that we can have just a peanut on is number 10, Secret Shema for Ben Brisbane. This horse is going good. Was very good in that same race. Was as good as anything from the back. I'm surprised it didn't go up sort of $20 here. They went up big price again for it. I think you can have a great big bet at Through Irish Eyes and just have a small bet on Secret Shema. We're going really well in Victoria. We've got products everywhere, guys. Head to themailbag.com.au. Peter, anything on special?
Curly's Winter Pack. Get 10 weeks for $20 a week. $200. You'll get 10 weeks. You can sign up at any stage over the next month. You'll still get 10 weeks, but the next 10 weeks is the Brisbane Carnival. If you have any interest betting in Queensland, you'd be mad not to get involved with, as I said, the king of live wagering.
If you're going to find better value betting information in Queensland, can you email me, jack@themailbag.com.au, and we'll try to sort something out there too. But that's amazing. You can't bet there without having your handheld. It's a fact. It's a scary, scary place. It's like Perth on drugs.
I reckon they do more drugs in Perth than Brisbane.
Yeah, you're probably right, but it's on Sky 2 so much you don't even see it. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, we've got a great lineup of meetings for ANZAC Day in Queensland.
Yeah?
Bow Desert and the Sunshine Coast. God, honestly. We're doing our absolute best there. But
racing in Victoria is it's really good at the moment. There's 2 meetings today, 2 meetings yesterday. There'll be 2 meetings on Saturday. There's probably what are we dealing with? Yeah, Caulfield, Wangaratta, Flemington, Maui, Sunday.
Beautiful.
And shout out to Jacko. What a set that was from Bendigo on Wednesday.
That was unbelievable wagering.
Unbelievable. The biggest day in the history of the mailbag, just about.
Wow, let's not get too carried away.
Let's remember that time that Peter won a billion.
The biggest day in the history of Victorian mailbag then, Peter, you fucker.
That's better. And on that note,
have a great
go
week.
well, guys.
Subscribe to puntingform.com.au and drink Mountain Goat Lager. Bye.